What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with Heart and Hustle Houston Season 1, Episode 4, Bills and Heels. Before I start, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell button so you'll be updated on every video I drop. Make sure you like the video so I can stay in the algorithm. Y'all welcome to all of the new subscribers. Thank y'all. I hope y'all like my content. To all the people that have been here, thank you. I also wanted to tell y'all, I only got for this particular episode, I only notated those things that were important for me. So we just gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this whole episode. So we're gonna start with Chloe and Jordan. Apparently they've been together for 6 months. And the only reason I'm making that assumption is because Chloe says 6 months and counting. So I assume that that's what she meant. So she asked Jordan, what are you going to do when I'm 60 and you're 40? And he made his comments. She then asked him, what if Nico is still living with her when she's older? And I thought that that's what they were talking about, but it felt like Jordan's response was Nico being there in current time. That's how I felt. So Jordan says, I don't know what Nico is gonna do. He tells Chloe, you have a grown man in your house and he needs to be downstairs. And Jordan asks also, how long will Nico be staying there? He also tell her, you can't keep providing for him, and at some point he has to get it together. He tells her she needs to start incorporating some tough love. Jordan also tells Chloe, you make a lot of excuses for him. Now, I do get why Chloe had a conversation with Jordan, because at this point that's the only male figure that she have that's closer to him. But here is the thing, he's the male figure for you, not for Jordan. Jordan doesn't know, I'm sorry, not for Nico. Nico doesn't know Jordan that well. Nico seems like he doesn't trust Jordan all that well, and it just seems like it's another new person that's coming in and you're just willy-nilly telling your business. I do feel like there is some resentment on Chloe's part for Nico. I'm sorry, y'all, mixing up the names. For Nico, only because Nico is like a lot of these kids decide not to go to school, don't want to get a trade. You really don't know what to do, but you don't want to throw them out to the wolves. And a lot of people around you tell you, oh, you need to throw them out, you need to do this, but their brains aren't fully functioned for them to go out in the world. For them to make big decisions. It's easy for you to navigate your kids while they're in school because you still have, in college, so you still have somewhat of a, not really control, but you know how to help them navigate. But when they don't have nothing at a certain age, you're just like, it ruffles your feathers as a mom, because you think, like Chloe, you think that you're doing something wrong. Where have I gone wrong? When and where have I not been the blueprint for everybody's life to go awry? And it's nothing about you, it's something about them. But talking to your new young boyfriend isn't going to help, because what's going to happen is he's going to give you a skewed perspective from what he went through, not a healthy perspective, skewed. So it was probably rooted, his perspective is probably rooted in some sort of trauma. There needs to be some boundaries, but before all of this can happen, it seems like you need to fix your relationship with your son. Anyway, as I was stating, I get what she was doing by talking to him, but talking to your boy toy who's really close in proximity of age as your son is a no-no, first of all. Second, there isn't enough time in y'all relationship for these conversations to happen. I get that it's hard, but it seems as though when you went to the gravesite, there were men there that you call family. I don't know the dynamics that you should have talked to about your son Nico. Anyway, and also something tells me that you have had moments where you vented. Am I saying that word right? Will you vent to Jordan about your son? And so it often feels like that man has to somehow take up for you. He'll talk about what Nico needs to do from a man's perspective, but ultimately he's taking up for you. I don't know. I could be wrong, y'all. Y'all please drop it down in the comments, because I don't know. I just feel like Jordan's opinion here isn't valid. A lot of time as women, we do have a bad habit of oversharing with these newly men that come into our lives about our kids. But the reality of the situation is, some of those men will only give you advice based on their personal experience. And because you're frustrated with your son and you've told Jordan about your frustration, that frustration has shifted over to Jordan. And so now there is a frustration that Jordan has for Nico, but Jordan probably don't know Nico that well. And that's not okay. And Nico is already in a place where he don't like Jordan. Like, I think he made the comment about wanting to fight Jordan or something. I don't know. And so you're already mad with Nico. And you're frustrated with him for whatever reason. And you're going to internalize what Jordan has told you. So when you do talk to Nico, it's not going to come from a place of love. It's going to come from a place of something else. And the only reason I'm saying that was because that was me. But I had to fix my relationship with my kid. We was like oil and water. Okay? If he looked at me wrong, it's my firstborn. But we good now. We good because we had to talk. And I had to get some things off my chest. And I had to set some things straight. And I had to look at the way I was coming at a situation and how it would make him feel. And I had to give him time to be able to maybe process what I'm saying or really be ready to have the conversation with me. It needed to happen. And it happened. And it was a good conversation. And ever since then, we've been okay. We've been good. Well, not okay. We've been in between good and okay. All right? We ain't bad. But y'all know that's my 23-year-old son/nephew. But that's how I go around here. Anyway, we get with Latoria. She's talking to her therapist, Dr. Sylvia, about the girls, about her situation she had with Munir. I just want to say this. Only thing you can do in this situation is respect Munir's decision. If she doesn't want to be called by certain names that are made to make her feel small, that make her feel like y'all little girling her, whatever, however y'all want to put it. And even if it's not triggering to her, y'all automatically look at her size. Y'all automatically, and it's just embedded in y'all brain. And you just be like, oh, you look so cute. But then you'll see somebody else and be like, oh, girl, you look real beautiful. Wait a minute. So you automatically look at her size and you it's embedded in your brain to say, shout out to Candy. It's embedded in your brain to say, oh, you're cute. No, that is a grown-ass woman. And then I'm gonna say this. That's another thing I've been through. Like, it's annoying. People always talking about your height. They always cracking jokes about your height. I might be 5. I mean, I'm not Munir short, but I'm a tall 5'1". Okay, I am standard. Okay, I am standard pints, not pint size. I am standard size. Okay, don't play with me, and don't play with us little short people. All right, y'all know we got a complex. Okay. I'm just kidding. Anyway, Labrina and her son. So Labrina has a 15-year-old she calls Pop. Pop lives part-time with her and part-time with his dad. Right now, Pop's grades are slipping, and she's not happy about that. She said over at her house, it was a lot of structure, and over at their dad's house is a lot of leniency. And because the leniency is over there at his dad's, his grades are not where they need to be. So Labrina needs to figure out how to reel her son back in, because time is of the essence. All right. So Chloe and Nico. Chloe talks with her son Nico. Chloe said in her confessional that Jordan said that Nico should level up. Here is the thing. Jordan is telling you that Nico should level up, but is he telling you how? Is he giving you resources to give to Nico? Like, so you can't come and tell me what he should be doing if you don't have nothing else to offer but just lip service. So Chloe tells Nico, me and you haven't been chatting in a couple days. We kind of a little poor on the communication. So he tells her it's because she's dating someone close to his age, and he thinks it's weird. So Chloe was like, well, I don't think it's weird. I don't think that this is weird. She tells him, you don't have to be a part of it. Chloe, you cannot do that. You keep pushing him out. Because you're mad. You're coming from a angry place, which also further lets me know that you probably should be back in therapy. And it needs to be grief therapy. It needs to be just full on therapy for everything. Because the communication with you and Nico is not quite there yet. And I'm not here to judge. I mean, I'm gonna judge you on this last part with Neek, aka Shaniqua, aka listen, somebody called Shaniqua Noxeema Jackson on Twitter. I didn't say it. I'm just repeating it. The people say she looked like Noxeema Jackson. If you don't know who Noxeema Jackson is, go ahead and look it up. And I ain't say it. I'm just repeating it. Sorry. But I'm going to judge Chloe at the end because you was messy. Anyway, right here. So, she tells him he needs to get his life together. But how? Well, apparently Nico wants to be a rapper, right? And he tells her, no, she said, you need to get your life together because when I was your age, that's another one. You cannot do that. The time you were young was when you were his age. When you were his age, it's a different time from now. And I think the generation before us and even our generation have to stop doing that to our kids. Like, you can be a soundboard and be like, well, listen, I did X, Y, and Z at your age. This is what I did. But to just be like, because at my age, I did this because you ain't doing, because actually it's going in one ear and coming out the other. So, she was like, well, I was hustling and I was doing X, Y, and Z. And he was like, no, not really. You was staying with your mom and you wasn't helping her with no bills. Now, hold up, Nico, because you about to get your ass popped right in the lip. Okay, this right here is a bottom lip pop. Okay, but we can't be popping our kid. Well, listen, throw a shoe at him, girl, cause he grown. Like square up. All right. So I told y'all, Nico want to be a rapper. Why do you want to be a rapper? What have you done? As Chloe should have asked, what have you done so far to move in that direction? It's like, and another thing, Nico needs therapy too. But there are a lot of boys that are Nico age, like my son, and they all feel like, hey, I don't need therapy. But I will. Let me share this with y'all real quick, because I have therapy every other week, and I'm home when I have therapy. So sometimes when my son is off from work, or when my daughter is here, they can hear my, they know that I'm in my therapy sessions. So it's also a good sounding board, because both him and her came to me and was like, they asked me different questions about therapy. So I was like, maybe it does pique their interest, because not only that, I think they see me showing up just a whole lot different than before. And so now it's like it's piquing their interest because they're asking questions. But they do their own form of therapy. Like my son journals a lot. My daughter, she draws. They do things. She go out and play basketball. Like they do things to occupy their mind. And I'm not mad at that. If anything, I buy her drawing utensils, like in notepads, to kind of help her, like until they're fully ready for therapy. And when they let me know, hey, we can help, I'll help them find one. But the questions that they do ask me about therapy, I do answer them. And I always ask them, like, I really do ask them that. They don't like when I ask them, but I've learned a softer way to ask them. So I just be like, hey, when you feel like you feel like you're ready for therapy, or they be like, no. Oh, okay, all right, cool. But for my son, whenever I'm in a store and I don't know when he runs out of his journal notebook, because I don't look in it, and it can be sitting right by me. His privacy is his privacy. But I will buy him a journal, and I will purchase a pen for him. Like just something that I know that they may not get because they're young. They're just not gonna go out and get it. So I just do those. Like let me just do that. And I like doing it because I feel like I just want to help them grow and write down things they need to write down. And she journals also. She does a lot of things. So does he. But the main thing I do know that they really do is journal or draw. And another thing, they both can draw. They both journal and they both can draw. But I just buy them whatever they like. Anyway, but that doesn't mean I don't take care of my son. I will say that. He takes care of himself. My kids are very self-sufficient, so they don't really need much from me. I always tell them, the one thing I do say is, how can I help you? How can I help you grow? Like, because it wasn't ever said to me. So I feel like I have to show up like that for them. It doesn't matter what age. But we're going to get to this next scene when we talk about kicking kids out. So with all of that being said, we get to Labrina and her parents. So she asked them, what is a good age for them to leave home? Her dad says 18. The husband was like, 18? And his brain is like, because he was a football player, so he went directly to college. He was never put out. He went from high school to college. No. There are a lot of parents out here, and I'm not judging. Never, not ever. But a lot of parents do have their kids to leave the home at 18. Their brains are not fully developed. And oftentimes, they don't know what they want. But a lot of parents do kick their kids out. And so, with very little skills, just with a high school diploma, not much money, and this need to be in survival mode, because then you have a lot of people around that's family that don't want to help them because you kicked them out. And so most people feel like, well, if your mom and daddy kicked you out, why would I take you in? But there are some people who would take them in, you know. So Labrina felt like she wasn't equipped to be out by the age of, 18, 19. She said she had Pop when she was 19 years old. She left home between the ages of 20 and 21. Her mom said that there were rules put in place, and if she didn't abide by them, she had to leave. So her mom married. It was her mom and her stepdad. And I feel like this was around a time where the stepdad made the money, so he made all the rules. Probably a very contentious home. He probably was controlling. And again, I'm only just my opinion based on that conversation between Labrina and her mom. And you can even tell that though that relationship is mending, but it's still some stuff there, because Labrina didn't put everything out on the table. She didn't. And I really hope Labrina is in therapy for it because Labrina is tough. And I want to say this because I'm going to apologize because I was so hard on Labrina last week. I was like, well, I don't know nothing about Labrina. But now we're getting to know Labrina. I appreciate seeing Labrina and talk about her stuff and not really, want to help everybody in their stuff. No, you have stuff, and you have some heavy stuff. So anyway, her mom said, so Labrina said her mom told her she needed to move out. Her mom said, but the outcome of me putting you out turned out pretty good. And I'm looking like, what? No. Do you know the amount of trauma that Labrina had to deal with being a single mom and not having what you need? My mom is here and she's not giving me what I need as a young woman, and you're throwing me out. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of stuff that's not said. A lot that's not said. But I'm telling you, it probably had to do a lot with the stepdad because of what was said after that. So her mom said, you're not the only one that life was hard for at 20 and 21. Okay, so as black people, we got to stop doing that. We got to stop taking, when somebody tell you something hurt them or something wasn't right, you cannot come back by saying, well, other people went through the same thing you went through. Other people, but look how you turned out. Everything turned out good. You cannot do that. You are dismissing their experience. Their experience. You're dismissing Labrina's experience that she had trying to navigate as a young single mom, and then you're invalidating her feelings of how she felt being a young single mom. My mom is able, have a place to stay, but I have to get kicked out because of X, Y, and Z. Anyway, her mom holds herself accountable for not being the best at 2021 herself. She also said that she was the best. Wait, what did she put? Oh, she did the best she could up until that time. And I was like, okay. So Labrina tells her mom, I couldn't imagine doing that to Pop. Her mom tells her, you could have came home. But the way Labrina looked at her like, I know the hell you lying. No, I couldn't have. And so she said to her mom, you didn't want to be there. So when she said that, the only conclusion I can draw, and again, I don't want to be this person that's just judging. I'm going to keep saying that because I don't want to come off that way. But it feels like that mama and that stepdaddy, the mom didn't like the dynamics in the house, and she didn't have the control in that house. The man had that control in the house. So it may have been where at some point Labrina didn't feel wanted. So there's thus that possibly being a strain with her mom not helping her navigate as a young woman. Her mom said she did what she had to do to get where she wanted to be. Wow, that's a lot. I sympathize with those who have to live in survival mode. And I've never experienced that. And I will say this about my grandmother, her kids, and a lot of us didn't experience that. And the only reason I left my grandmother's house at 21 is because I had a son. And my mom lived, if you're from New Orleans, my mom lived in the Ninth Ward. So I kind of wanted to be in the East area where I was since I was 12. But I wanted to be out my grandmother's house because because I had my son. And everybody used to live with my grandmother, and I think I didn't want that anymore. I wanted such a quiet life for me and my son, and I didn't realize how hard it was, because even at that time I was living not paycheck to paycheck. Y'all, I was living under paycheck to paycheck. And then around that time, that's when Katrina happened. And then I left the 28th of August, which I don't know why we getting here, but I will say this. I don't talk about it, and I don't acknowledge it. So if anybody want to know if I'm going to talk about it, the answer is going to be no, because I never want to keep reliving that experience, even though I left and I didn't stay. But that's all. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to get that out. Probably need to talk to my therapist about the whole Katrina situation, since my appointment is on Friday. But that's not y'all business, okay? I don't know why I be putting y'all in my little business. So we get brunch with Dr. Sylvia, and I don't know if her name is she's Dr. Sylvia, but I'ma just call her as is. So Elena tells we just gonna get down to the nitty gritty. Elena tells Dr. Sylvia about her and Josh. Chloe thinks that she needs to take off her mask and be honest. And I feel like, Chloe, you have bigger fish to fry in your own personal life. So at this point, La Mama, I need you to mind your business. And another thing, you have been showing and displaying that you cannot be trusted. And which is why Elena don't talk to you. Because you've been doing the most in these little 3 to 4 episodes. So that's my personal opinion. Elena is the type of person, like, I'm not going to share with you. And if you give me anything, any reason for me not to want to share with you, I'm not going to share with you. So Elena says that there is more to her and Josh issues, but she's going to protect him and she's not willing to share. And it's like, okay, so don't put that out there, because here it is. This is the thing. We're on a reality show. Not we, but y'all know what I mean. You're on a reality show. So protecting him, you're telling us that you're protecting him because you're not putting everything out there. And you don't owe us everything. You don't owe us everything in your life. But when you say things, it's like you're baiting us in to constantly ask you what happened, what's going on. And then you tell us, oh no, I can't tell you that because I'm trying to protect him. Now, if he's done something that bad, why are you even considering being with him? Which further lets me know, did he really do something that's unforgivable? Like, did he really do something that bad that was unforgivable? Because I'm still trying to figure out, why are you still trying to navigate with a man that has done something? There's more to the story, but you're willing to protect him. But you say you want to be free from all of this. You said that a couple episodes ago. So I'm confused. I'm a little confused, friends. So I need you to, you know, be a little transparent. Okay, that is the operative word that is going around on these own streets. Being transparent. Okay. Anyway, Ro talks about navigating life with her teenage daughter, and she also talks about the strain in the relationship she has with her mom. Labrina talks about the strained relationship she had with her mom because she needed her mom back then and her mom wasn't there, and that her mom gave tough love. And she said that it hardened her, but it pushed her focus. It allowed her to focus on her hustle and push more. So I get it. So when I look at Labrina's house, I be like, I'm not mad at that. Like, I'm all of the women, just going from survival mode to, you know, a new normal is always a good thing. And I think a lot of us, especially us, even some had to, they didn't call it survival mode, but we did. But had to navigate in survival mode, you know. So that was a lot. Anyway, Chloe talks about her relationship with Nico. She said that, which was really disheartening for me to watch. It was hard for me to watch these ladies in their session. What is going on? I'm not tearing up. You're tearing up. Not me, but you. So Chloe talks about the relationship between her and Nico. She says she blocked him out because she's grown. And y'all, can I tell y'all that is so easy to do? Because you like, they're 18. They don't need me no more, and they do. They need you as adult children. Like, I mean, not as adult, as young adults, right? So, she said that she didn't check on her son. She said she didn't care how he felt because she was trying to, and then around that time she lost her husband. So she really wasn't checking for Nico because she was trying to figure out how she was going to pay the bills. And I think the strain came after her husband died. Like, I think that's where a lot of strain came, because she also said that Nico had to step in and be the dad for their daughters, which also, because he had to be the dad, now in some way he feels like he has to father you. That's why I say don't let them do that. But he felt like he has to father Chloe in some way because she allowed him to play the dad role to her girls and not the big brother, you know, and allow each, you know, while they're grieving, getting the help that everybody needed. But I get it. It's hard to get help when I got to find a job. I need to figure out these bills. I need to get my life in order. So, Latoria talks about her dad. She said he's been gone for a year. She talked about the situation between her and Munir. Latoria wrote a letter to Munir. They squashed it, and that's what we had. I thought that was a good brunch session. Y'all, I did not mean for this video to be this long. I thought we was going to shorten it down. So, this is why I'm finna judge Chloe. Because Chloe messy ass invited Ro, Latoria, and Elena and her special guest, Shaniqua. Why did you invite Shaniqua to this party? Better yet, why did you tell Shaniqua what Latoria said about Shaniqua not knowing Shaniqua that well, or whatever the case may be, or she was trying to remember her from some place? I feel like Chloe put 20 on 10. When she go back to relate a story to somebody, she always put 20 on 10. Just like she do with her son. Just like she's done with the ladies. And now you bring a lady who wants to, who actually want a moment. Because let's be clear, Neek wanted a moment. She really was. She wanted a moment when we first saw her, and she's vying for a spot now. Like we don't want Neek. We don't. So apparently Neek feels like her character has been assassinated. And she felt like Latoria was minimizing how she know her. And I'm looking at Shaniqua like, you brought receipts, but the receipt you brought was an email from 2014. And I'm just looking at her like, girl, are you okay? Like why do you feel like you have to bring that up? If she said she don't remember you, or she's trying to figure out where she know you from, then let that be. But you came on here trying to make this big old splash. So guess what? We don't really see it for you. Okay, I don't. And let me tell you something, friend. Neek friend. Because I'm going to call you Neek. Okay? Every time I see you, I'm going to call you Neek. Girl. Not the people say you look like NJ. Okay? Those people say you look like Noxeema Jackson. I'm sorry. Y'all don't come down hard on me, okay? I'm only telling y'all what I saw on Twitter, and I even reposted it, Lord Jesus. But yeah, Chloe, you were messy. You were definitely being messy because you wanted to make a scene. You wanted to be, I guess, production's puppet. And let me clear this up. This is why Elena don't trust to give you any of her personal information. Because of the way you show up. Like, no ma'am. Everything about Chloe gives messy. And I think you really need to be focusing on fixing your life. And you can fix your life while you're on camera. But I think that because we're seeing way too much of you doing the most. And I mean, for a Houston, type of tease, you doing the most, ma'am. You did. That was messy. That's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. I was so tired today, y'all. I really had to pick myself up so I could get up. And it's nothing on y'all, because I love bringing y'all videos. I love giving y'all content. But sometimes, I have these moments, and I know Monday is usually my rest days. So I'm going to go get my rest, get ready for work tomorrow. And tomorrow, I will come to y'all with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Is something else coming on tomorrow? No, but I do need to post the new shows lining up for September that I'm going to be reviewing as well. I'll put it up. I gotta make I'm sorry, y'all, gotta make time. Oh, and another thing, last night I was over on the Black Girls Den podcast. So yeah, y'all, I reposted it on my community wall. Y'all go around there, listen to our segment we talked about, accountability and dating, all of the things. It was a good segment. So it's over at the Black Girls Den podcast. If you forget, just go to my community wall, and I reposted it last night, and it was a good one. Y'all go around there, like, comment, and subscribe to her channel so we can get her numbers up as well. Y'all know I'm still on the road to 500, and then we're gonna go from 500 to 1,000. Again, very doable, and we gonna get there. That's all I got. And until tomorrow. Also, before I go, let me know what y'all think about the brunch. Let me know what y'all think about Shaniqua coming in trying to make a splash, about Nico and Chloe, Jordan, the conversation between Jordan and Chloe. Did I say the Fields and Hills? Labrina and her parents. Labrina and her son. This was really a good episode. Y'all. So please, if you have not on your way in, like, comment, and subscribe. You can very well do that on your way out. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. And I promise I will see y'all tomorrow for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.